Now let's bring you up to speed with the latest news headlines we have in the studio. The Chief Justice, Sissala East has expressed worry over the state of the Tumu District Court on the final day of a 3-day official tour visits to the Upper West region. She inspected the court where she found that the chairs and benches used at the court were not in a good state. Workers had no room to keep their exhibits. Well, the Upper West Regional Correspondent, Rafiq Salam, reports that the Chief Justice tasked the Sissala East Municipal Chief Executive to construct a new building for use as a court.
The final day of the official tour of the Chief Justice to the Upper West region saw her at Bolu, the birthplace of former President of Ghana, Dr. Hilia Liman. Chief Justice Sissala Akufu, as a mark of reverence, laid a wreath at the tomb of the former president before meeting members of the Bolu Traditional Council, led by its president, Kuro Bukti Liman, who pleaded that the abandoned War Court edifice be completed.
It was Nana who came and initiated it. He was the Attorney General. While it was Akufo's Kufuor's time, I was a member of the Council of State in Kufuor's time. But it was His Excellency Akufo who came and initiated the building of the High Court. So we are happy you've come to see it. So help us to complete it.
Responding to the plea of the Bolu Kworo, Chief Justice Sissala Akufo pledged to ensure that the High Court complex, started some 13 years ago, is completed to ensure smooth adjudication of cases.
I've already been to see it because the situation of courts in Wa, they leave a lot to be desired. The building we call the High Court building is, it's like some old cocoa shed. The Circuit Court building is another problem. The Magistrates Court is also not suitable. There's some room somewhere in a building being shared with other organizations, and then the magistrate is located somewhere else, his office is located somewhere else, the registry is located somewhere else, not suitable at all. So that is a government project. I'm going to also do my best to push it because that is what the region needs.
The Chief Justice also used the opportunity to tour the remnants of the old and jaded defense wall, which was constructed by the people to defend against notorious slave raiders, Samurai and Babatu. She later inspected a structure built by the Sissala West Assembly for use as a court. She observed that the building was without furniture, the paint used was fading and needs an extra toilet for the officers. She tasked the Sissala West District Chief Executive, Mohammed Zakaria Bako, to fix the problems.
Do the roof, the ceiling, and everything, because
and the tiles in the other area.
Yeah, tile the whole place.
Yeah, okay.
Tile the
including the
yes,
sacrifice and tile the
you see, it makes it much easier to clean.
The boy asked for that.
Yes, and it will last longer.
Okay. Mohammed Bako assured the Chief Justice that her recommendations will be fixed in less than 2 months. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam, Bolu.
Government needs to establish a national immunization fund to ensure that immunization exercises are effectively carried out across the country. That's a plea from the Chief Executive Officer of the Bichim-based NGO, Human Care and Maintenance Foundation, Evelyn Bema Dakwa. Mrs. Dakwa says research shows that about 150,000 to 200,000 children below 5 years are not immunized each year due to the lack of funding. JoyNews' Nesta Kafui Ajuma has more in the following report.
Evelyn Bema Dakwa mentioned Doma Municipal, Doma West, German North, Esunafod South and North, Pu, Atebubu, Sene East and West districts as places where immunization exercise has not been successful for some time now. The CEO of HUCAM stated that her organization is complementing the efforts of Ghana Health Service in making expanded program on immunization EPI and weighing services readily accessible to deprived communities in the Brong-Ahafo region.
The main purpose for this program is to mobilize community members for expanded program in immunization. And this is a project that Ghana Health Services and my company, and we are giving compliment to whatever they are doing.
Doma Municipal Director of Health Services, Florence Idrissa, indicated that the Achim town needed a health facility to cater for the health needs of residents.
We are grateful to them. However, we wish to request that if we could get boreholes, one especially in this facility that can help the health workers to work. We are also requesting that if they could get a motorbike for the health workers, it will ease their work, it will help us. Looking at the distance from here to the nearest health facility, we are pleading that the assemblymen, the municipal assembly, the chiefs, will come together to get us a cheap compound.
Meanwhile, a weighing shed has been provided for nursing mothers in Achim, and the mothers are delighted.
Well, bad roads, careless driving, and sometimes malfunctioning traffic lights. Those are often blamed for road crashes, which claim the lives of many individuals. But increasingly, the attitude of some pedestrians seem to be raising concern for road safety campaigners, as hundreds of lives are lost due to non-adherence to road crossing provisions. In the following report, Emmanuel Owusu finds out why some pedestrians risk it all crossing these dangerous highways at the expense of footbridges constructed to serve same purpose.
In 2017, 879 pedestrians were killed from road-related crashes, according to figures from the Road Safety Commission. The NRSC announced in 2010 that there were 19 fatalities per 100,000 vehicles in Ghana. Available estimates reveal Ghana loses over $230 million yearly due to these crashes, with more than 1,600 deaths. Several others are left maimed and permanently scarred from these accidents. The figures watchers fear may increase if adequate provisions are not made to increase road safety education. But increasingly, the desire of some Ghanaians to endanger their lives crossing risky highways in parts of the capital remains a cause for worry. It is commonplace to see Ghanaians, regardless their age, scaling blockades and metal railings on the road to cross to safety, leaving footbridges constructed to ease commuting unprioritized.
We do not do what is expected of us, so we end up suffering in life. 2 years ago, an accident happened here. A gentleman lost his leg just because he refused to use the overpass. His leg was found on the other side of the road.
And I have to walk just to use the overpass is far, and I will be tired. That's why I choose to use the main street.
I will be late if I have to use the overpass every time because of a distance. It's best to use the overpass, but sometimes, if you're in a haste, you just cannot use it.
Well, it is no surprise that lives continue to be lost on many of our highways.
Oh, so next time you're crossing the road, make sure that if there are footbridges, you use them instead. But let's move on. Former President John Agyekum Kufuor is attributing Ghana's slow pace of development to failed leadership. Mr. Kufuor believes a mineral-rich country like Ghana should have been many times developed way ahead than currently she is. He says most of the country's leaders across sectors are performing poorly because they were forced into those leadership positions. He spoke at the launch of an endowment fund for the John Ejekum Kufuor Foundation here in Accra.
The well-attended fundraising dinner brought together ministers of state, traditional leaders, captains of industry, entertainers, broadcasters, and members from a sports fraternity. The John Ejekum Kufuor Foundation says it is targeting raising 80 million cedis in funds to support various projects.
200,000 Ghana cedis. Please, let's put our hands together for that.
Former President John Kufuor noted Ghana's slow pace of development can be blamed on failed leadership. Mr. Kufuor believes a mineral-rich country like Ghana should have been many times developed than she currently is. He says most of the country's leaders across sectors are performing poorly because they were forced into those positions.
I don't blame the leaders because the way they were forced, many of them were forced into the leadership positions. They were not prepared. And this is why across the continent, development has been stop-go, and you look critically. In current times, you cannot give leadership in any sector without being prepared in terms of knowledge and experience and exposure. You must know the field. And we live in times where it can be said that the entire world is just one market. One market, and nobody can escape from it. So the words that we all learn about now is competitiveness.
He called for more investment in the youth to prepare them for leadership roles.
If we are going to leapfrog into the mainstream of global evolution, then I have found over the 4 or 5 decades that I had the privilege to involve in the governance of our country, that we need to focus especially on preparing our leaders, not only in politics, but also in all other spheres and aspects of our lives, to focus on our youth.
Former Speaker of Parliament Edward Duajaho meanwhile believes former President Kufuor's wealth of experience in public office should be an example to today's leaders.
Governance and leadership, it's no joke unless you are in it. And for him, who has devoted so many of his years to public service, as a member of parliament in the Second Republic, a deputy minister in that republic, became the leader of the minority in the Third Republic, and ultimately becoming the president of our dear nation. He has so much to offer the current generation.
Over 1 million cedis was raised to support an 80 million cedi target to complete the John Ejekum Kufuor Center for Leadership and Governance at the University of Ghana. A series of activities have been planned to mark the former president's 80th birthday. The star-studded event saw some performances from hip-life artist Ochame Kwame and some live band music.
Well, great performance there, but also some great points being raised by the former president, John Ejekum Kufuor. Well, let's see how it goes. Leadership in Africa is always a huge problem, is it not? But we have to review the newspapers, and we'll be taking a break, and shortly when we come back, we'll be doing that. Do stay on.